Went to see Lion King last night, didn't I? You did as well.
Yeah, I did as well.
Lion King's class. And went to Showcase, and it's dead quiet. Like the ads are about to start, and this little kid just goes, "The seat vibrates." I were crying.
What the seat vibrates?
The mum was just like, "Shut up!" He's like, "He's shaking me." He was just trying to recline.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah.
That's all it was. And he's like, "Oh, it vibrates." It's like, all right, this is getting a bit weird. And then I was next to a family that were just trying to take a selfie of all 6 of them, but for ages.
Why in the cinema, man? Like it's dark in there.
If you do that, don't. That's my advice.
Take it outside.
Or just don't. Like.
Anyway, rant over with that.
Rant over. This is It's not episode 1 or 2, but it kind of is. It's what episode 1 and 2 was meant to be. What it was meant to be was, who are we?
Why?
How did we meet?
The hell are we doing a podcast?
How did I grow up in Leeds and Bradford, and you were born in Mauritius? How did we get together?
How did this link in
and then a podcast developed from there. So let's get into it. So early life for you, what did that look like before England, basically?
So before England, I was born on an island called Mauritius. I actually lived on another little island called Rodrigues, which is about half an hour flight away from Mauritius. Lived there, grew up for 2 years. Moved across to Mauritius, went to primary school. Normal kid, played a lot of football, running around.
Is that the main sport in Mauritius, football?
Yeah, football. Yeah.
Is that what's big out there?
What else? Yeah, mainly football, volleyball, and athletics. Athletics as well.
Ah, okay.
But we don't have anyone famous.
I was just about to ask if you've got like a famous athlete or someone.
We have one guy that ran in the Olympics. I think he won a silver, called Stephen Buckland. But that was it.
So now he's like the king of Mauritius.
Yeah, he's the king of Mauritius. He's got restaurants everywhere.
Has he?
Yeah, he does.
Shout out to
Does
that
very
guy.
well.
All right. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, early life, average kid. Loved playing out. Moved over to England when I was 7. That was a time where there was a lack of NHS nurses, so they were asking people if they wanted to come from a different country. So both my parents came over. Moved here. It was cold as shit.
And you moved to Armley.
Yeah, I moved to Armley, which, like, people know it's not the best area, not the worst area.
No, it's not.
Either.
No.
So yeah, it was a little bit of a shock. I remember coming to England, and it was summer actually when we first got here, and it was still daylight at like 10 o'clock, and I was like, what kind of black magic is this? Because like in Mauritius, it gets dark at like 6, you know, like it's by about 8, it's pitch black. So I wasn't
even in summer.
Yeah, even in summer, yeah.
Okay.
It's just where it is.
Yeah. Sure.
So I wasn't used for that. And I remember seeing snow for the first time. I remember having that memory.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. I guess I remember being in.
I guess your parents the first time they saw it as well.
Yeah, well, I wasn't with them. I was in school, so I remember seeing some white shit falling from the sky, and I remember thinking, "What the hell is that? It looks like real small pieces of like polished tyrene or something."
Yeah,
like
it does.
shit.
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, oh. Went out and played in it. Didn't have any gloves or a hat or anything. It was cold.
So you were so cold.
It wasn't for me, man.
Yeah.
Fast forward a little bit, my brother was getting busy, meeting girls, knowing what he was doing. Then that's how he met your cousin.
Yeah.
And then we just ended up getting dumped together at a little party. But before we get to that, what was your background?
Yeah, my background was grew up in Shipley in Bradford. Most of my life really. I was born in Leeds, and then my mum dragged me off to Bradford for like a school of life education or something. It's like, yeah, here you go. But no, do you know what? That was pretty good. Do you know what? I always just liked to be funny at school, and I never tried at school because I didn't find it too hard. So I was like, I can mess around. And that was like my whole thing. Like I just liked having a laugh. I liked playing footy. What else growing up? Not too much really. And I was always just playing out. Like I would literally go outside and play football myself. Even if there was no one to play out, I'll just smash it against someone's garage until they called the police. Literally like fake call the police. Like he used to pretend to be calling the police on the Sky remote. And like, we know it's the Sky remote. And someone, it was mad. Like, there's so many funny stories where I grew up. I'll probably go into them another time, but it was shout out to Bradford as a city because it's so diverse that it teaches you a lot about people, and you see a lot of different people, and and it's got such a broad range of like wealth or lack of or that sort of stuff. So in that sense,
you see
now it's class. I've got a lot of love for Bradford. I think it is rough, but it's fun. Like we went to parties and stuff.
Yeah, we did all.
And it was pretty.
We used to go to Shipley diving boards, man. Do you remember that?
Shipley baths.
Shipley baths.
Yeah.
Jumping off that 15 meter or 20 meter diving board. Or whatever.
I wouldn't even do that now. I wouldn't even jump off now.
Do you know what? When we were in Prague, I thought about doing that. Like the diving boards were shut. We went to an international pool.
Yeah.
And I wish they were open, man.
Yeah.
Seeing Latta do like a.
Yeah, but he just lobbed himself off, man. He's just like no regard for his body, has he? Shout out to Latta, shout out to Badger, shout out to Jaroslav.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, then we linked up, so it was family party. Nothing really interesting happened in my life, to be honest. I think before that point, like nothing that you can go in or be like, oh, it's overly interesting. Do you know what I mean? It was just like standard kid stuff.
Same.
And then we linked up at a family party. My cousin's going out with your brother. We're the two only kids at the party, so it was like, yeah, chuck them two together, so they just don't annoy us. And then that was it. Like I remember, like you pretty bad English at the time.
Yeah.
Like you knew how to say nutter. It's like, oh,
you know what? I used to want to be a nutter,
like you wanted to be like a proper mad bastard, didn't you? Yeah. It was like, do you think I'm a nut? And I'd say yeah, and you just love it. And I'm like, all right.
I think I'd start loads of energy, man.
Yeah, I think so. But it was playing Mousetrap, weren't we? Yeah. I think it was a Mousetrap. But that's 11. Fast forward, we just like hang around because you moved up to Yeadon, not too far from my grand's house, so like it was a lot easier to see you then.
Yeah, it was.
So I think we spent a lot of time
going to like we did a lot of theme parks, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Tom Bates, man. We got him in a lot of trouble, didn't we? Like Water Valley. But did Tom do it? Tom did. Or was it you?
No, it was. Yeah. Let's not bring that story.
All right. Another time we have to. Yeah, sorry, Tom. We had to. Basically, it ended up in one of our friends having to hide from a massive guy in a bush.
Where's Tom?
Don't know.
Ran off to the car park.
That was funny, man. So yeah, we did a lot of stuff like that. We went to like swimming, and to be fair, like Helen and Nick, like they were pretty good at getting us out and doing stuff. Yeah, like we went to like Blackpool and loads of little things. So it was quite good. And then we got to like 15, and we ended up going to like parties and stuff around like Leeds and Bradford, but mainly more Bradford. But the parties in Bradford were like the Wild West.
I know, man. Like
it's like the Wild West out there.
He even still goes on those parties. They can't do, can they? They can't be legal.
Nah, not the ones that were like beeline checkpoint sort of thing.
Shout out Andy Tywell, man.
Yeah, shout out Tywell is the OG of parties, man. They were just wild. They were sold out instantly. It was mad, and it would just everyone was just steaming. Absolutely steaming. Like everyone was like kissing every girl, and even like if your mate had kissed a girl, it wouldn't matter. Like you'd just kiss one and then like swap. It's like I kissed 11 girls. Like 11. Imagine going out in Leeds now.
Jesus Christ,
single,
man.
Trying to kiss 11 people. Impossible. Like, it's crazy. Isn't it? It was basically human drunk bumper cars with kissing and bassline. Like really hard, aggressive bassline.
Loud ass bassline.
And then with the odd drop of Lethal Bizzle Pow, which then, if you were smart,
get out of the
dance floor. Because dance moves to Pow were literally like straight
fists.
Right. It's like, oh, Pow's up. Just someone's knocked out. Like, what happened to you? Pow came on and then I woke up at home. All right. Just out. But it was just nuts. It was like, do you know what? It was so fun. But I remember when, I'll never forget when your dad was dropping us off at the party that Skepta was meant to be at.
Yeah.
And he was just like, there was like mad, it just looked like mad people running around Bradford when it was like full of people because everyone was
How old
going.
were we, man?
15 probably, I think. 15, 16. We weren't allowed
My mum would have never dropped us off at that one. Like,
she just turned around. Your dad was just like, why do you want to go and watch this rapist? Fucking rapist. And then Skepta didn't even turn up. Well, the alleged story is that Skepta turned up and the bouncer didn't know who he was and tried to ID him, and Skepta got the hump and left, which I actually think is probably true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just mad. Like, it was just mad. I remember being in, like, when you're young, you're just so dumb, aren't you? Like, I remember being in parties and being like, I have £5 left and that'll get me home in a taxi, or it can buy me 2 Jaeger bombs. And you buy the drinks.
I remember we ended up walking home.
We walked home from Bradford once. Yeah. I remember Harrison got punched when he was having a piss. Imagine getting punched when you've got your dick in your hand. What can you do? Like, do you put it away and then start fighting? But then that's another 10 seconds of getting hit. Or do you fight with it out? They'd probably stop it once they realise. Like, oh, he's got a dick out. That's some mad guy. Yeah, he got hit. But then Prince, like, one of my good friends who just started his own football agency, he's going to come on the podcast, actually, to give people a bit of an insight about what it's like to be a football agent. But aside from that, how I met Prince was, he was chatting up a girl in my science class called Millie, and then she must have mentioned me or something. And then Prince come up to me whilst I'm having a piss, and he's like, are you Cardwell? And I'm just like, this guy, Prince is massive. Like, he's like 6'5" now, he's huge now. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm about to get filled in, aren't I? I'm just about to get robbed. He's like, do you know Millie? I'm like,
oh, she.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, mate. And just started talking to me. I was like, what is happening? What is going on? So that's a weird start to a friendship. But yeah, that gets us to 16. And then I think by sixth form we didn't really hang around much. Like, we just kind of was doing our own thing. Yeah. Sixth form kind of takes over though, because you have spare time socially, but then you always seem to hang around with people that that aren't in lessons at the same time as you.
You can get a job as well when you're in sixth form, can't you? Yeah. You have a job in sixth form.
I worked at City in one of the bars, man. It was terrible.
Oh yeah.
I hated it. Well, I didn't hate it. It was fun. Like, I worked with Kingy and a guy called Nathan Sandu, and they put us all in one kiosk, but then they'd come and check the kiosk, and none of us knew how to work the till, so it'd always be down. So it'd be like thinking that we'd robbed them, when really we were just eating hot chips and stuff. Like, we were just eating burgers and chips and all that sort of stuff. Quite fun, actually, in a way. It's quite fun.
At City, how long do you do that for?
I did like a season and a bit.
Right.
I remember going to try and do the same job at Bradford Bulls, but up at Odsall it's freezing. So sorry, Grandma, but I said that I got a phone call after 1 hour that my grandma was in hospital, so I could leave because it was so cold. And I got home, and Mum like, "What are you doing back here?" It's like, it was too cold.
Do you know what? I would have been out as well.
Yeah, I was like, sack this. What did you do for work around sixth form time? Because I think those jobs actually teach you a lot if you can be serving the public. Like, you actually learn how to deal with a lot of different people, because people just treat you like you're shit.
Do you know what? For me, I was applying and I didn't get shit, man. I did some like flyering, like fucking flyering and putting.
I did that with your like pages
takeaways, you know, like yeah. I was long. I ended up doing half of the houses and
threw the rest in the bin.
Yeah, you know, I just put them in my drawer at home.
What's the takeaway called?
I can't think. Pizza parlour. Maybe. Sorry,
I wonder if it's still open now.
Yeah, it's still open.
Gone. Has it? Oh, so it didn't affect the business. So it's all right. Shout out to Pizza Parlour. You don't need menus.
Do you know what? I did do a lot of them. The guy gave me like 400, like to hand out like around Rawdon and Yeadon. It's like
400 people out there. I wonder what the return is on 400 pizza menus. Like, how many you get? How many orders?
Probably
you
quite high, I'd reckon.
Yeah. Probably, yeah, it probably
maybe
is.
2 to 10, maybe.
Now you're older, you realise like getting a takeaway is just too easy.
Way too easy.
And you don't even need to do it. It's like Apple Pay,
especially
Just Eat,
Domino's, man.
Rapid.
You every other minute, man.
Domino's. We said this. Domino's have unreal text game. Like, it's so basic. They don't really do anything else.
Come get our discount. And it's like, not really a discount.
We miss you. 20% off online. You're like, there's 20% off online. And then you go on and you put all the deal in, and it's like $5 off, and you've got to collect it.
Well, it's not really a discount.
No, it's never a discount. It actually never is. So yeah, I think working as a kid's good for you. And then uni. So you might as well go into you went off to play basketball.
Yeah, so I left college. Well, I left school kind of early. So I did year 11, did a year of sixth form, and for me, I don't know, I really stopped enjoying school.
I found the jump from GCSE to sixth form massive.
Did you?
Like I couldn't wing it anymore. I couldn't just turn up and be naturally smart and get away with it anymore. Like you had to apply yourself at that point.
No, I agree with that. It was the same for me. Like grade-wise, I didn't do too well in sixth form, and I just really wasn't enjoying it. The people in the school, like I didn't really I did get on with people. It's not that I didn't like them, but I don't know. It wasn't really.
I didn't concentrate. We just ended up pranking people all the time.
In school?
Mainly Kingy.
Yeah.
I prank called his mum once.
Do you know what? You might as well go into that.
That was a nice... What, that one?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can.
Alright, we'll do it another time.
We'll do it another time, but that was bad. And I didn't withhold my number. So, Kingy found out that I pranked his mum. And then what else did we do? Oh, we went on a night out in Bingley once, and he drove, and we put all his. We thought it'd be funny, like, let's just leave his windscreen wipers up. Someone were absolutely trashed and thought, those windscreen wipers up, let's snap them off. Snapped 2 front and the back one. we once got him to buy.
Raging,
we once got him to buy loads of eggs from Asda to go egging, and then Wardy thought it'd be funny to just throw all the eggs at his car in the car park. After he bought it. What else? Egged and floured his car once. Kingy got a lot. We once put a massive traffic cone on his car, and you could see it from. We got dragged into the head teacher's office, and you could see into the car park, but you couldn't see out. But you could only see this cone. We're like, lads, we're going to ask you something because there's been some pranks going around on people's cars. Do you know anything about it? And we just looked out the window, could see this cone right at the back. Just started crying with laughter. It was like, go take it off. Anyway. Who was the smallest? It was one of our friends was quite small. I've forgotten his name. And we were like, I'm not doing it. Like, because I could have easily got it off Wardy, whoever. So they're like trying to drag it off. Just scratched all top of car. There was like a stone underneath it. It was a Vauxhall Corsa. It was mashed. Imagine how bad your first car is.
Wipers got snapped
He has
off.
to just throw water at it. Shout out to Kingy though, because I'm still in touch with him now, and he's a nice lad actually.
Big up Kingy.
Yeah, shout out Kingy. So so just messed around a lot. Yeah. What was it like going? So when you went to college, like how did that come about?
So I was playing a lot of basketball in Bradford, and there was this coach called Malcolm Malik, American guy who's playing in the NBA, and basically. The college over in Manchester, they said, okay, you can start your own academy, bring some guys over. So he sort of did some recruiting. He came over in Leeds, Bradford, went down to London, and just scouted guys to come to this academy to kind of try out, see if you can make it. So I went down with a friend called Ryan Holmes, who I think you might have met.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, so we tried out, I got in, and then it was like, okay, you're going to do 2 years over here. Pick a course that you want to do. So I did sports science, like a BTEC for the next 2 years, and then literally just lived, breathed, shitted basketball.
You did love it for a period. I think when I did see you, you always wanted to play NBA, not FIFA, and I was just like
all the time, mate. Like we used to get up at we'd train 6 a.m, 2 hours in the morning, showered, go to college till 4. You finish at 4, then you're training from 4 till 8 at night.
When you just shagged?
Mate, we were all like tired, or constantly tired, falling asleep in the class all the time. Like it was a lot. It was tiring. It was like professional.
But I guess that's what it would have been. It was kind of prepping you in case you did go out to get a scholarship in the US. Like it would be exactly like that. Probably even worse.
Yeah. So, a couple of the guys that did get the scholarship said they went out and like the physical side of things didn't bother them at all because they were already prepped and ready for that. Like the guy was militant, man. Like we had to like do chores around the house, clean the house.
If you didn't do it, he'd just boot you. Like,
you'd be done. Like some people would have cooking duty, some people would have cleaning duty. I remember one time.
What were your duties?
It varied. I'd be on cleaning. I'd prefer to do cleaning than the cooking, man. Like it wouldn't be hard, just like hoovering the house or something. Like,
okay.
Because with cooking, you'd have to sit there and watch the food and wait for the food, and you could just sit down when your legs were like mashed after a 6-hour training session.
Yeah, true.
But what was I gonna say? Well, yeah, the 2 years was sick. Played a lot. At the end of it, realised basketball's probably not going to be a way in terms of going to America. Coach wanted me to stay another year. Uni fees were going up that time from $3,000 to $12,000 a year, and it was like, oh, what do? I do love it here, but is it going to be realistic that I'm going to make it and I'm going to be able to do something with it? So,
did you talk to anyone about that decision, or did you just make it yourself?
Well, I kind of made it myself. I spoke to my coach about it. My coach obviously wanted me to stay on and wanted me to go all the way. I did mention it to my mum. My mum again, she was like, well, it's up to you kind of thing. And for me, it was just out of, what if I get injured? All the what ifs to me, it didn't feel like, it felt like uni was a start.
It was a risk.
Yeah, it was I saw the risk in that.
I've actually never asked you about that side of it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how old were you to make that decision?
So I would have been, well, at uni I would have been 18, so when I made that decision. But I moved away when I was, 15, 16. So it literally went from my mum doing everything, having my clothes washed, food put on the table for me every night, to 2 years of basically doing my own shit and having to handle. So I'd say I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about work ethic throughout those 2 years. Like, definitely, getting all my schoolwork done on time. And so I'd say probably a 2 year growth period in my life where I benefit from it a lot. That
might be the first proper mentor you ever had.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say that was definitely the first proper mentor.
I think that's what people lack.
Mentors,
nowadays.
Mentors are sick, man. I've had loads of mentors.
I've been thinking about it recently. Like, now more than ever, I could really do with one.
A mentor.
Yeah, probably. I think it'd be useful, but that's another topic.
Yeah. So what did you do then throughout 15 and 16? You went to...
I worked.
Sixth form.
I think it was mentioned yesterday when we was at brunch, you didn't, I didn't go to uni. I was like, yeah, but I could have gone. That's the difference. I got the grades enough to go. But it was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And kind of like you, I kind of looked at it, and what I actually looked at was, like, if I go to uni now, I'll have paid $9,000 and whatever the rest. Or I stay at home and I work and I'm actually up.
Yeah.
The only problem was I wasn't smart with my money. Like, I was paying board at my mum's, and then I just wanted to go out and buy stuff and all that stuff. So
wages that you get,
first wage is like PS3 or something.
Yeah.
Or PS4 or something. Like, straight away, like, I just bought it like a PlayStation or something. Like, just buy stuff. Which is fine, whatever. But at first, it got me into a routine though, like of working, and then I figured it, like, get into the gym and all that sort of stuff. So
because you were juggling a lot at that time, weren't you? You was getting up quite early.
Yeah.
Getting to work.
Yeah, I had to get on I was up for like 6. I had to be on the train. I had to be like starting work at like 8:30 in St James's. So it was like walk to the station, train, bus, sometimes 2 buses. So when I think about it, it was a bit of a pain.
What was that routine like at the time? Did you think, okay, I can do this for the rest of my life, or like how?
Nah, because the job was
Did you look down on it?
The job was just so boring that I was just like, this isn't me. Like, part of me is like, maybe it's like it was my ego, I guess, but then at the same time, like, it was right. No, like, now looking back, like, I was right to think like that. But I was like, this can't be everything. Like, this can't be it. And I was like, the progression here is just going to be too slow. So I was like always looking or thinking. After like a year and a bit, I was like, oh, I can definitely get out of here. And it was just finding the right stuff. And then it was like, part of me, like, I know and back then I was very shy at first when I would meet people. And to this day, I still do that in terms of, like, I'll just wait like 5 or 10 minutes to see what people are like before I like, you know, not be myself, but like engage a bit more. So that's always like a trait I've always had. But I knew that I could do sales. I knew I could be good in front of people, but people that met me only like fleetingly would have been like, he'll never be in sales. I talked to like Mike Douglas. He was like, I thought you'd be terrible at sales. Awful.
So what did you meet Mike?
Nah, no, yeah, I met him once. I met him once because he had a meeting with my mum, and my mum works in the same department. So I'm like, "Oh, just come, like, buy you a coffee or whatever. Like, if you're on your break, just come."
Right. Okay.
And that's how I met Nathan as well. And then Nathan said to my mum, "I'm leaving this company. I'm leaving IPS. Maybe James could apply for it. They're not going to want sales experience. They're just going to want like lab experience."
I'll pick up your mum.
Go for it. Yeah. So my mum got me my first job. So look at the time, part of me, like, at times I had arguments with her saying, like, as if you put me in like a fucking shitty job, like why would you want that for me? Like, kind of like, in a way, like, I should have been, looking back, like, I took it. It's my thing. Like, she just put the opportunity in front of me. I took it. I didn't really think about it. It was like really short-sighted. Or I didn't see like a long term. I didn't have a plan.
Right. Okay.
Once I said yes to the job, there was no plan. There was no method. There was no thought process. So looking back, I shouldn't have been mad at her. I was mad at myself probably for taking it. Anyways, Nathan said, "Yeah, this is it." Applied for it. Went down there. And the one thing I kind of said in my interview was, I was like, you might hear it from a million people, but I know I can smash it. I know I can do really, really well, but I just need a chance. I just need one chance. And thank God. Shout out to James's mum, and shout out to James Latter's mum. Give me that first chance, and changed my life really. That was like one of the defining things. There's a few points that I look back and think, oh, that really did change my life for the better. Like, it gave me like a big spike, like a big upward trajectory in my life. But that was definitely one of them. And then confidence and all that stuff kind of came with it.
Yeah, so do you know what? I definitely saw it grow in you, man. Like, I don't know when, because we've always had like our laughy, jokey kind of side, like when we was younger, but we never really talked about sort of creating something that's going to be here, that's going to be beneficial for us and potentially other people as well. So, like, you getting that job, I think it definitely created that kind of growth upwards trend for you, man. So
yeah, definitely.
But
and then at that time, whilst I was doing that, you were travelling, weren't you?
Yeah, so you got the job at IPS. I finished uni. I went to did a year in Australia. Cheeky bit of travelling, worked a lot out there, lived in the city. Learned a lot about myself in that year. Funny little story when I got there. So I was maybe 3 weeks in, and I like take out my bank card to go get some money out. So basically, I saved up £2,000. So I went out there with only £2,000.
Is that the minimum that you need to get into Australia?
At the time anyway, you needed to show that you had that in your bank account, but they didn't check it. So I got there, go to take some money out, and it says your bank account is zero. I'm like, what? I go to the bank and like get them to pull up a statement, and they're like, yeah, you've made 2 withdrawals of $1,000 US American dollars or whatever the fuck it was. I'm like, what? No, I haven't. Yeah. Like, I haven't. And they were like, yeah, well, apparently you have. He was in the train station and made a transaction. So they checked it, they thought it was fraud. It was fraud. So I was now in Australia. My friend who I came with left. He was on the Gold Coast. No money. Nowhere to stay. So I'm like, Mum, like, what do I do? She was like, well, you do have like some family friends over just outside of Sydney. You could like see if you could go stay at theirs. I was like, all right, well, speak to them and see if you can. So luckily enough, I was able to go stay at theirs for like a couple of weeks until they sorted the money out. But the whole trip itself, like things like that had happened like constantly. Like things that just happen, and you just have to learn to deal with it. Like, yeah, you have no money, be resourceful. Like, what do you do? Like, luckily enough for me, I had somewhere to stay at that time. Yeah. But like even communicating with people that didn't even speak English, man. Like, you'd be surprised how many people in Australia don't speak English. Like, there's shitloads of people that managed to find jobs somehow that don't speak English. So I was working in the Star Casino. I mentioned this on a podcast yesterday, in fact. Yeah. And that was just like full with like Spanish people, Italian people from all over the world, and that was cool. Like, having to communicate with with people from a different place. Like, the way you have to speak English to them is like completely different. So you can understand it, make a conversation with them. So I think that's where I kind of learned to communicate with people a lot better, which I think led me down the sales path when I came back. Yeah. But yeah, I remember coming back from Australia. You came to my house. My hair was like wild as shit, and you pulled up in that brand new black Beamer, man. I was catching a bus at the time, and I was thinking, you motherfucker. But I was happy for you, man. I remember you got the job. You were doing well. And again, for me, that's when I kind of realised, oh shit, I need to step up here now.
I remember you asking me loads of questions at the time about
the job, the role, account managing,
what it is, like what you do, and all that sort of stuff. I remember you asking me loads of stuff.
But yeah, because that's what I wanted to go into, and then I managed to get my first sales job at a company by the airport called EPD, selling like goddamn IT maintenance packs to like a US market. So it was like dodgy hours, like from 2 till 10. Stuck that out for a year and a half. Managed to become a team leader there. Through people leaving as well as me sticking through it.
Yeah.
And then like literally just worked my way up from there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been class, man. It's been. Do you know what? It seems like so much, but like nothing. Doesn't it?
Yeah, like when I think back about it, it feels like wow, like it feels like a long time ago, but really it's not that long ago. So 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's been like five proper years now of like not being friends. That's stupid saying it, but like spending a lot of time with each other. Yeah, big time. But then I think that's like being around each other, and then like we got into like I started reading more, you started reading more, started recommending stuff, started to think about business ideas, like start to map stuff like that out, start to jot stuff like that down, started to do stuff like the podcast, and then kind of grew from there. But
it was out of, I guess, wanting to become self-sufficient, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, of course, yeah. That's it. Well, I think like that's always been the bottom line of it now, isn't it? It's like how far can we go, but just we're on our own. Not on our own. Like I know that we need people,
but the idea of the podcast now we're talking about, it's kind of coming to me how we thought about doing it. So I remember we got into Audible and we was listening to like a lot of audiobooks, and I remember you got into podcast and you was listening to the Entrepreneur Flyer.
Yeah.
And you recommended it to me.
Yeah.
And then I started to listening to that, a few other little podcasts, the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And then you said it to me, what if we start a podcast?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, what do you mean? Like, what would we talk about?
Yeah, that was the one, like, what would we talk about?
And then we started to think, what would be useful?
But then it was like just going to be us two, wasn't it? Like, what would be useful? Like, what do we need to learn that we would have needed to learn earlier?
Well, yeah, exactly. What would we, if we had a podcast, what would we want to learn if we was younger from listening to it?
Yeah. But then I don't think we would have enjoyed it. It would have felt like work.
From a young age, you think, yeah?
No, like I'm saying, like if we'd have done the first version of the podcast, it would have been like more about like sales and finance and health and like that sort of stuff. I think it's kind of like that now, but it's not. Because it would have been more rigid and like more
not too serious, but I don't know, not fun in a way,
Yeah, it wouldn't have been fun. I don't think it would have allowed that flexibility to be ourselves.
Yeah,
really, because we said it on the other podcast when we did that one, the one that we did with Emily, that we are ourselves, but maybe like 70-80% when we're interviewing people, because we are interviewing people, and it's kind of our job to get the best out of that person for that hour and a half, that 2 hours, because they're probably not going to sit in that chair again.
Do you know, that's one question I'd like to throw out to our listeners actually, is to find out whether if they feel like they ever have to like not switch who they are, but like wear a mask for work, like kind of, are you interacting with people and you have to like kind of redact your personality through the job that you're doing because it might not sit in what you're doing?
Yeah.
Does that kind of
does it make you feel good or bad? Does it make you feel bad doing that? Because really, like, if you think about it purely, you probably shouldn't compromise yourself at all. You should be like 100% who you are every single time.
Yeah,
that way you'll find people that genuinely like you.
But then real
life dictates that like you can't just go and think like you think something and you just want to say it because you be maybe really rude or whatever. Like you just can't. That ain't how life works.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it's like going into an interview. Like, why do you want this job? It's like, well, you advertise it paying 55k. So, next question. Then they'd be like, yeah, get out. But really, you should want someone to be that honest with you. So it's kind of a two-edged sword. But yeah, it'll never happen.
Yeah, that's it. Real world.
Because then when you see people that are really themselves, it either turns you on to like them, like to want to be friends with them, or it turns you right off, and you're like, nope.
Would you think that's better in a society that we live in? Like,
it is in terms of like, if you look at it like in terms of like qualifying, unqualifying who you should be friends with. Because we know each other.
But then it can seem quite cutthroat, doesn't it? I guess talking it's like, saying that just chop someone off.
But then you shouldn't just be friends with someone for the sake of it. But then I think we have certain friends that you will only do certain things with.
Yeah.
Like certain friends that are just no good to go pie. Like I got a text from Miles and he was like, "Do you want to go to Ibiza?" Text me like once a year. "Do you want to go to Ibiza?" Last 3 years. So, like same time a month, same time a year. "What are you two doing? Do you want to come to Ibiza?" Every time. Same time. And then like the lads from football, and then like yourself, like it's just every dynamic's kind of different, and maybe it does bring something good to your life, makes it more well-rounded.
Yeah.
And I think because I think sometimes I watch people online and I'm just like, they're always on about like surround yourself with like great people, amazing people. Yeah, of course. But maybe surround yourself with people that you actually have fun with as well.
Yeah.
That you enjoy spending time with, because you shouldn't always
need fun, man, in life.
That's the best thing about our friendship. Like it has both sides. It has like every side. Like if you want to go training to the gym, we can go boxing, and we'll go and work hard. If we want to sit down and map out like a business or a new podcast like format or whatever, we'll do that. If we want to do something like this, we'll do it. If we want to go get fucking blind drunk and like just mess around in Leeds or whatever, like in Prague or whatever, we can do that. Like it has every area, and I think that's kind of rare for me when I sit with people now.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, but maybe that's just the way it is. Like I don't think you need a big circle of friends, but I think it needs to be diverse enough to give you everything you kind of need.
Yeah, and be able to get information as well, like different types of.
Yeah, that's where we're fortunate in where we work and the people we have around us in work and stuff. Like we have access to people that are very fucking switched on.
Yeah.
Like we're really fortunate, like own their own businesses, like are millionaires. Like that's
and yeah,
class.
I don't know. You kind of see like people have like different. I don't want to say attributes, but different.
Well, the podcast is the same, isn't it? Like when you sit with people, like I realise, like we're entrepreneurial. We've got that in our, but then there's different levels to it. Like there's like Josh, but then there's Baz.
Yeah.
And then there's just different level, and then there'll be someone above that, and like maybe we get people on. Like I really want to have the guy Jay.
Everyone's like on their own little journey, aren't they?
Everyone's just at a different level, and you see him in a year, and it's totally different. Like literally a year ago, we sat in my house.
Yeah.
Now we're sat in a secret location with our own studio, like an actual studio.
And we were sat with these goddamn.
Yeah, shout out to these, man. Get it on the camera here. Bang it in there.
There she is.
That is edition 1. Make It Mastermind microphone. So this got us going. How much were they?
£10.
Tenner. The USB. They never connected to the laptop, hardly ever. It took ages. Yeah.
That was a year ago. That's insane.
Only a year. Do you know what? That's one thing you should take from it, is that if you stay consistent with something and do it a lot, stick at it,
get results.
It compounds into something bigger. Like I don't feel like we just made a big jump to this. Like it happened really naturally.
Yeah, it has. So, especially with the people that we've met along the way, man. That's probably been like one of the things that I've just enjoyed the most. Like some of the people that we've met, being Smudge, P.
Yeah, do you know what? And the stories
all
are
those
just
guys
sick, man. It just makes me smile when I think about it, though.
Even Remedy, man. I really enjoyed that podcast. I enjoyed every single.
I'd love to have James back on. I think he will. We talked to him a bit, like he messages and stuff. And do you know what? Like random people listen to your podcast. Like when people say to you, like Josh Warrington said, like he was just laughing his head off on the treadmill listening to Liam and Vinny. I think, what? That's crazy.
You know, we kind of put it out.
Like my friends listen to it like on the way to work. Like text me the other day, I was on the phone to him and he was like, "Yeah, I listened to it in the car." And I was like, "What?" It's like, I've been listening. And then people at footy like, "Oh yeah, listen to you." But like they're backdated, so people find the first one and then they'll say, "Oh, I'm listening to
Tony's,
like
isn't it?
Tony's and stuff like that." Like,
we need to get Tony back on, man.
Yeah, do you know? Because he killed it.
Yeah,
he's killed it.
We need to get him on for a mic switched on. I think we'll get him.
Get a little topic out of him. That would be good. So I think we're done with that topic, and I've got to shoot to footy. It's 9:15, so we've early graft. We showed you the studio. It's kind of first edition. It's going to be some more pieces in here. So some shelving, some artwork. Hopefully, Facebook Marketplace is going to bring out. Stop saying sponsors every time. It's like. Sponsors.
We need some sponsors, man. We need some sponsors.
Yeah, we do. We need some challenges as well. Yeah. Give us some challenges to do. That'll be good. And from this moment, we're going to document stuff on the
Insta.
On the Insta, man. I'm going to do it. Let's be real.
Keep them accountable, people.
Let's be real. I'll do it. I'm better on the camera than you.
Yeah, you are. But do you know what?
You're better on the tech.
I'm a tech.
He's the geek.
You need some glasses, man.
I kept thinking about going to get an eye test the other day.
Have you been for one?
No, but I tried someone's glasses on that had like quite a big thing and they look quite good. So I'm thinking maybe I'll wear them for work, just the ones that don't even do out. So I look really smart. Especially if I went to like meet someone new, like a contractor or like a design team or whatever. That'd be pretty good.
Let's get some glasses.
But then maybe they think you're too smart and they ask you some really hard questions and you're like, I'll let you know. Come back to you on that one. Yeah, what do we need from people? Challenges. Weeks challenges, like vegan challenge, that's going to be definitely one. Cold shower challenge, definitely one.
5 a.m. challenge.
5 a.m. club that you've been doing. Yeah. I do it. No, I don't do 5 a.m. club naturally, but man. Like I wake up stupid hour naturally. What else could we do?
We could do a gratitude challenge, man.
A gratitude challenge and actually put it out there. Like say it.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. Acupressure challenge. Yeah. A week of acupressure.
Do you know what we need to do is an episode of its own on that.
On acupressure?
Yeah. Do you know I've got someone lined up that we can get in?
Yeah, we need someone to come in and
talk about reflexology and acupressure and acupuncture and the benefits around it.
Yeah.
How it's been used and because the NHS have invested in acupressure now and acupuncture.
Yeah, we need some people in. We need to do like a week of yoga and we need to start mapping that stuff out, man. Start hitting IGTV.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap up.
Peace out.
Patreon.com/MakingMasterminds.